It's a great honor and a great pleasure to have you with us and accept our invitation to come to Greece, even virtually. We hope you'll come in the physical sometime soon also. And for those who don't know Aruna, I would like to say a few words. Aruna was born in Kenya, studied in England, worked in Canada, and has lived and traveled to many other parts of the world. Aruna has been following the spiritual path of Raja Yoga meditation, taught by the Brahma Kumaris, since she was 14 years old. For over 37 years, she has been studying, practicing, and sharing this spiritual knowledge. She has helped to establish meditation centers in Vancouver, Istanbul, Bahrain, and is now director of the BK activities in Kuwait. It is a great opportunity actually to thank you for all these programs you organize from there every week, inviting senior teachers for seminars and talks, which is a very big service that you're doing. And but Aruna is a very good teacher herself, and a very inspiring teacher, I should say. And also she's an author. She has written 8 books, all starting with the words, "It's time." These words have become the brand name for Aruna because all her books start with this: it's time to meditate, it's time to change, time to be cool, it's time to do inner work. All these are titles of her books. Time for relationship, which is in fact our topic tonight. And actually, if you want to find Aruna on the internet, all you have to do is type "it's time to meditate," and the first person who comes up is Aruna. I just tried. So easy. We don't need all these addresses. We find you very easily. And so she is a certified negotiator also for conflict resolution. She has a blog with the same name, It's Time, and writes and places articles in it every week. I could go on and on talking about Aruna, about the depth of her knowledge, her wisdom, and the clarity with which she explains deep aspects in a simple language that speaks to everyone's heart. So now it's time for you, Aruna, to take the floor or the screen. But before that, together with our thanks, please accept the flowers that Maria from Athens has picked for you. It's become a custom in all our meetings, virtual flowers.
Thank you so much. They're beautiful.
Very good, Aruna. So, and after your talk, maybe you lead us to a meditation, and then we'll see if there are any questions for you that Maria will translate for you. Is that okay?
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Thank you for the lovely, warm introduction. And it's been years, actually, since I was in Greece.
I forgot to say that we know each other for over 30 years. And I'm very happy that you're with us tonight.
Thank you.
We've had many times together here in Greece and here and there and in India.
Yeah.
Lovely times. And maybe we'll meet again.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So Om Shanti to everyone. And yeah, I just want to say that when Drasula was speaking, I really do this for myself more than anybody else. I churn, I think, I write, I journal. So I'm really doing it for myself. I'm really learning, growing through it myself. And it just so happens that it's a byproduct that then I offer to others. So yeah, I love this journey. I love this path because it is a path of self-reflection. And it's really a path to, be with oneself, to get to know oneself better. I think I learned quite early on in life that if I don't have a good relationship with myself, then there's no way that I'm going to have a good relationship with others. Because the outward, is really a reflection of the inward. And so, yeah, if I'm really at peace with myself, if I'm happy doing what I'm doing, if I love myself, if I love what I do, then yeah, I'll be happy with others. So yeah, this is the key, I think. So without further ado, I do have a PowerPoint today because it's a very simple subject in terms of content, but yeah, it is deep. So let's have a slideshow. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so first one is, they're all don'ts and do's, or do's and don'ts, right? So first, well, they're in no order also, but let's take the first one, which is don't criticize, but do compliment. So even if you look at your day throughout the day, then how many times in the day do you find yourself criticizing things that you don't like or people that you don't like? Just one moment. And what would be the opposite of that is to compliment. In other words, it's so easy for us to criticize. In fact, did you know that studies show that the more we compliment others, the more they grow, the more they flourish. And the more we criticize them, the more they fall, the more they, well, let's say, not, I don't want to say perish, but we stop, we halt their growth. So again, we might think we are just expressing ourselves, but our words are so powerful. And as a result of that, we give sorrow. And all it would take is a little bit of complimenting, right? All it would take is a little bit of being nice, saying some nice words to the other party. But I would also say that, yeah, there are times when we need to comment. And if we need to comment, then together with, let's say, one criticism, we should compliment 10. Do you see? If I want to criticize, then I should also compliment, but compliment more so that then that criticism is taken as a positive criticism. Okay, if you don't understand, we can take these up later. So don't take for granted, but do appreciate. Again, how often do we take for granted people? And, we don't appreciate. And just look around you, just look in your relationships, and particularly long-term relationships where we become familiar actually with one another. And we just take for granted that this person will be there all my life, or that person will be there when I need them most. And that's not always the case, is it? So even those who, might be around, they might not be there at the time of need. And this is what we have to remember. So we understand karma. So we know that if I learn to appreciate, then I'm setting in that good karma. I'm kicking in that good karma. where it's a positive. What is appreciation? It's a positive energy, isn't it? And so when I'm really appreciating you, what am I saying? I'm really loving you. I'm respecting you. And so in this way, then it's the other party knows it's not taken for granted. And let me say that it's often the small things, isn't it? It's when people do the small things that we value the most. It's not the big things, but just maybe, getting up to give somebody a seat, or just bringing a cup of coffee, or anything small. And just to thank, others for that. That's appreciation. And as we go through these, why don't you just check yourself? Am I doing more of this or less of this? Or should I be doing more of that? Okay, don't speak and do quiet, right? So it is an art, actually, isn't it? It's an art to know when to speak and when to be quiet. And we don't always get it right? We all make mistakes and we misjudge. So sometimes we speak when we should be quiet, and we are quiet when we need to speak. So I'm not saying that, don't do that or do that, but again, we have to balance in our life. Sometimes we really do need to communicate. And I believe that, communication is the key. That's why there is conflict resolution. Because when we actually talk to each other, we're able to clarify what's in our heart. So silence can be a weapon sometimes, but it's a weapon that, doesn't help. It actually is a weapon that hurts both parties. So this is my point, that, yeah, we need to speak, but again, what do we say? We say we need to know how to speak, when to speak. Shall we mute? Sorry. Yeah, so it is an art, really, to know. Yeah, okay. Well, let me just go back to that again. I just wanted to say, yeah, that also in Hindi language, we actually say, tol tol ke bol, which means that you need to weigh your words, before speaking. Tol is to weigh, right? Like this weighing scale. And bol is speak. So we actually need to weigh the words before we actually say them, because, as you know, once you let out the words, that's it. They've gone. They've come out. And then you can't really say, I didn't mean it, because somewhere the root or the seed of it is some kind of feeling, which has been kind of building and brewing inside the mind or the heart. And so then when we speak, it's obvious that that's what was inside. So yeah, really. And meditation, teaches us, and we'll come to that towards the end, how to put that brake on our thoughts and words and deeds. So yeah, don't disconnect, but do connect. And we've actually seen this a lot now during COVID, where people have felt that, being in lockdown, being in isolation, it's worn off on them. In other words, it's drained them. It's made them lose their zeal and enthusiasm for life, because we forget how important it is just to connect. Like I always say, that if there was heaven, would it be heaven if I'm the only person in heaven? No. So if it's heaven, then I want others there also, right? I want others to be there with me, right? So the point being that heaven is when we are connected, when, like-minded us are connected. And when we are connected, then we are powerful. We are united. But when we disconnect, it's again, sometimes I feel it's a bit immature. Okay, sometimes you might need to disconnect if you've tried everything and it's getting nowhere. But then that's like the last resort. But I think we should always attempt to connect. And many people, they leave their windows open, they leave the radio open, they leave the TV open because they want to feel connected to the world. They want to feel connected to the people. They want to see that a world is ticking outside, that I'm not in isolation. And then if you think about why people are put into jail, because it's a punishment. You disconnect them as a form of punishment. And so let us not, give others that disconnecting treatment or that silent treatment, because again, that's not good karma. Karma rebounds and it's not good. Yeah, and the last thing I want to say is that especially in this world with WhatsApp and other forms of communication that have made life so easy and free and accessible, you could be anywhere in the world and connect. So there is actually no excuse anymore to connect with people or to connect with loved ones. And let me tell you, it just takes a few seconds, it just takes a few nice words, and it just helps in the relationship. Sometimes I feel like it might not help me, but it's helping the other person. So let me, come out of my selfish streak and try to help the other person. Yeah, even a nice message. Somebody was saying this morning, actually, that they send out this thought for today. And they send it out. She sends it out to her bank manager. I mean, she's not close to her, but she connects with her every now and then. And her bank manager sends it out to other people. So imagine, like we're setting in a ripple effect. You send out something nice and it continues, right? And others forward it on. So it's a good karma for you. Then don't hold it in, but to communicate, as I said earlier. But look at the picture that we have here. By the way, somebody helps me with these PowerPoints. So look at the picture we have. It's a person holding the coal. It's a hot coal. So who's going to get burnt? Who's going to get hurt? It's the person that's holding it in. And this is what we forget. This is what we don't realize, that when I hold things inside, I'm the one that's getting hurt. I'm the one that's getting diseased or damaged. So I do believe that it's so important, as I said, to communicate. And most of the time, think about it, we hold on to the hurt, right? The hurt is the sorrow that we think others have given to us. So again, if I could just communicate, and let me say that on the blog, there is a free download of the conflict resolution book that you can just go and download, and it has lots of good information. And there are communication skills in that. So it's not always, don't think I don't know how to say it, or sometimes it's just simple. And especially with spirituality, it's the energy behind your words. You don't have to know complicated words or theories or philosophies or language. But if you just say it from the heart, then that feeling will be conveyed. So yeah, think about what it is that you're holding on to. Like it could be, something somebody said to you 20 years ago. Really, like somebody, maybe you loved them, you respected them, and they said something, and it really hurt. And because you love them so much, because that's what happens, isn't it? It's the ones that we love, or the ones who love us, that end up hurting us, because we expect more from them. So then ask yourself, okay, I took this sorrow, but how is it helping me now? And have I not changed and grown from it? And what about the other person? Have they not grown from it? Are they not a different person? Maybe they have realized that they hurt you. And maybe they have, moved on. So we just don't know. But the point is, let me not hold on to stuff, because that just clutters the suitcase of the soul and doesn't allow me to take in more good memories. Yeah. So if there's anything that you're holding on to, then just communicate and let it go. And don't drift, and do attune. Right. So what I mean here is, it's a bit like I was saying earlier, like to disconnect. We can drift off into our own little world, and we think we're justified, and it's my life, and don't tell me what to do, and that kind of attitude. So think about how, when there are couples, married couples, with time, if they've put in the effort, with time they kind of attune to each other, right? In Hindi, we also call it a ras. The ras is this interplay. It's a dance, actually. And each one just knows, okay, I have to go in, and this one has to go this way, and each one just knows what the other has to do. And so if I'm drifting away either in my mind, or yes, even sometimes physically, then again, I'm not able to create harmonious relationships. Because think about it, if I am stepping away, then how can you expect others to be there for you when you yourself have stepped away? But again, if you attune to life, if you attune to people, even though they might be difficult, but if you attune to them, really, then with time, I do believe that really, if you've done it with good intention, they do change. And they will then start to attune to you. So there is, as I said, this dance that's going on. And it's lovely, because what this is saying is that we don't have to be the same. What this is saying is, we can have our differences, but yet we can still enjoy each other's company. And I think that's also an art, right? To be able to get on with those that maybe we think we are so different from. And again, spirituality helps in this, because in our spiritual world, there are so many different types of people. Not that I would go choosing them as my friends, but because they've come into my life because of spirituality, you see their beauty and you see how wonderful they are, and it's lovely to be in their company. So really, it's an art to, attune. Attune here means like when you really tune into that radio station, when you get the highest, best frequency. And that's what we want to do, is tune into this person to be able to really bring out, the best in them. And of course, as we do that, the best in us as well. Then don't do negative, but do positive. So as you know, impossible means I am possible. And I talk about this a lot because I really try to practice this myself, that we really have to be positive as much as possible. We cannot give ourselves that benefit of the doubt. And negative, again, what does it do to us? It kills us. Yeah, when you have a negative thought, it's not just a thought, is it? There's a feeling with it. And that feeling is a vibration, and that vibration then runs through your body. and it actually affects your organs. So you might think one negative thought is not so bad. Okay, maybe it's not so bad, right? It's a little ounce of poison. But imagine that you're being negative all the time or negative all day. So how much poison is that? And if you are negative, then you're making it a habit. You're making it an attitude, right? So when you are negative, then you're seeping away all positive power, because the negative kills the positive. So I tell you, there's no reason actually to be negative, but there are so many reasons to be positive. Think about it. I mean, you make the list, because I've done this work many times and I've talked to myself many times on this. But you sit down and write down, why should I be positive? And you'll come up with a big list why I should be positive. And first and foremost, it's about self-love. I need to love myself. Then I'll be loving and kind and positive. And of course, you know, we do the positive thinking course. So the positivity has to begin from inside. I'm not saying that everything outside is positive, no. But it's how I perceive it from inside. If inside I'm a positive person, then whatever comes towards me, I will see it with those lens, with those glasses. And then I'll take it to my, you know, advantage or betterment. I'll say, for example, I'll say, yes, there must be some benefit in this. I can't see it right now, but there must be some benefit in this. Or I'm glad I went through that because this happened. You see, you will find something positive in the situation. And the art is actually to be positive before or during the situation and not after. We are all positive after, when we see the big picture. And we say, you know, I'm so glad that happened. And then we become happy and positive. But in the meantime, we lost all our peace as we got negative. So really the art is to try and stay positive. So now, right, that's what I'm saying. Condition your mind now to say, really, everything that's going to come towards me will have a good reason. And so I'm going to stay positive, and it's going to be in my favor. So don't withhold, but do transparency. Yeah, be transparent. So again, what I mean about this is, you know, once when a survey was done, people were asked, what is one of the main qualities that they want in their politician? And the answer was, well, honesty, but in other words, transparency. And there is something called transparent leadership, which means that I'm open, I'm informing and revealing. And so what this means is that I'm not holding in information. Do you see? And the thing is, what happens is, if I withhold, then I, not only I, but others will ask, why are you withholding that information, right? There's always suspicion that comes up. That why does this person has to withhold this information? So it always pays to be honest or transparent. In fact, people would, I think, rather want the truth, even though it hurts. I think they would rather that you were transparent than withholding. And again, this has to be done with measure, because you can't just say, well, I don't like your hairstyle, or you know, yeah, you don't look good tonight, or I mean, this is going back to what you should say and what you shouldn't say. So that's not really what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about is, you know, if some information is going to be useful, then be transparent with it. But yes, if some information is going to be hurting or damaging, let's say, and it's not really necessary, then yes, withhold. Do you see? Anyway, I hope you've understood, and if not, we can clarify more later. So don't ignore, but what? Do celebrate. And when we say celebrate, we mean rejoice, meaning to, again, in a way, appreciate, right? So again, there are studies done that when you praise somebody, they do better. When you congratulate them, when you honor them, then yes, they do better. And what happens to children that are ignored? They don't actually grow up to be healthy beings. And then they grow up being attention seekers. So, yeah, it's very important that we acknowledge, especially with children, really from a very young age, that we really acknowledge, celebrate their good deeds, every little move, really. Even though we think, okay, they could have done it better, but always to just applaud and be appreciative and, not to ignore. Now, I don't know if some of you have seen those experiments done by Dr. Emoto, but he had bottles, and in the bottles he put rice. And in one bottle, all three bottles had rice and some water. And on the label of one, he put love. On the label of the other, he put hate. And on the third bottle, he put ignore. And this is the energy, ignore, like you don't give it attention. And of course, hate was bad. It started to become, spoiled. In the love one, it started to grow. And ignore was halfway on the way to being bad and smelly. So yeah, it's not a good energy. That's the point. It's not a good energy. It's not good to be ignored, and it's not good to ignore. So just as I don't like being ignored, others don't like being ignored. So let us at least acknowledge them. But what I'm saying is, let us go a step further and let us, let us applaud them, right? Let us say, well, you've done a great job, or because really, as I said, this karma will come back. Many times we think that it doesn't matter if I say it or not, right? But it does matter. You might think, oh, others are saying, well done or whatever. It doesn't matter if I don't say it. But no, maybe that person is just waiting to hear it from you. So yes, it does matter, really. And you don't know what a difference it might make to them. Okay, so don't curse and do bless. Yeah. So we know that blessings help us to oil the wheels of our life. And the curse can be not necessarily just I curse you, not like that. But the curse can be anything like, telling them you can't change, or you're awful, you're dreadful, you're silly, you're stupid. These become like curse words. And that's not good. It's not healthy. And I always think, like, what does it hurt? If I have a choice between doing the curse or doing the blessing, why don't I go for the blessing? Why does it hurt? And the hurt is because of my ego, right? I'm not willing to give the extra. And yet, really, if I do bless, then I will be blessed. In fact, recently it was my birthday. And I realized that everybody who gave me a blessing, I was giving them a blessing back. And so really it was like, it really brought home this point that, if you bless, then you get blessings back. And such an easy way to get blessings. So again, it's not just about words, but it's about the feelings, right, that we create. So let us not create feelings of negativity. And then, don't be quick to judge and react, but do respond. So as you can see, this monk is saying, what a silly looking robe. And he says, oh, thank you. So can we come out of our ego, our attachment, and can we respond as nicely, as sweetly? Because see, the thing is, when we react, that means we don't have the break here in the soul. When we react, then we're not able to manage our reflexes. When the doctor used to put the hammer on the knee and the knee jumps up, right? So if I react as quickly, then if I react like that quickly to everything that's happening in life, then I'm not going to get very far, because actually people don't like being around people who are reactive, right? But if one is calm and thinks about, let's say think before you think. If you think about what you're doing and how you're responding, then really we are more at peace with ourselves. We're more at peace with what's happening in the world. And for this, I realized you need a little bit of patience. I mean, I'm trying to learn that sometimes we think we know what's the story and we think we know what's happening. And so we want to jump in and we want to, speak or react, let's say. But I'm trying to tell myself, just wait a minute, hold on a moment. Maybe there's something yet to reveal itself. And so now when I do that, then I realize, maybe the other person has a way of doing this, but they have something in their mind, and I just have to allow them that patience to think it through. And then, yes, they do come up with the trick, or they do come up with the solution, or they get the job done. So the test is really for us, I think, to be more patient, to be more calm. Yeah. And then we always say that about react and respond, we always say that react is what? Is reenacting. I'm reenacting a scenario that happened before, right? What is react? React means, like when we meet for the first time, we probably won't react with each other. If I see you doing something I don't like, I'm not going to react. I'm going to have some tolerance. But if I keep meeting you and you keep doing the same thing, then I'm likely to react, because the thing is, I knew you did it last time. I remember that. I didn't like it, and I know that you're going to do it again, or you do it again. And then I jump on that. So just think about it, right? We react because of familiarity. We react because, it's happened before. Whereas respond is actually reponder, means rethink. As I said before, think before you think. So think before you act. I know we're supposed to do it. I mean, it is technical, right? You have a thought and then you act. But it almost happens simultaneously, and we have to just give a little space. There is a saying that between every stimulus and a response, there is a space in which to choose. Yeah? There's something that happens, a stimulus, and then there is a response to that. But there is a space in which to choose. It's a bit like the traffic light, right? It goes red, amber, or let's say green, amber, and red, right? So there's the green, and then there's that little amber letting you know, okay, you've got to slow down. And then the red means you've got to stop. So in the same way, we have to have this kind of mechanism in our mind to say, okay, let me slow down, let me stop, let me pause. Yeah, let me not take offense from small things, but see the bigger picture. And really, this is so important for my inner peace. Because really, I think what helps here is when we really see that everything is a drama. Everything is a drama in this life. And all the scenes are just taking place. And that person said what they had to say because that's in their script. But the fact that I make it personal, it's a bit like if you go back to the other picture of the monk and he says, oh, I don't like that robe. And the other one just in a very detached way says, oh, thank you. I mean, can we be detached enough from these small things that happen? Actually, what happened a few weeks ago, let me tell you here. What happened is we were going into a store and you have to have the mask, right? So I had my mask, but the other girl with me, she didn't have the mask. So as we were walking in, she was trying to look for her mask. And I just entered and there was a security guard there. And so I'm kind of just walking in, not realizing that she's left behind. Then I look back, she's not there. So I went back and she's at the door. And she's talking to this security guard to let her in. And then there's a lady that's exiting. And she says to the security guard, don't let her in, don't let her in. Meaning don't let her in without the mask. And this really offended. Anyway, then I had a spare one in my bag, I gave her. And she came in. And she didn't say anything then, but 10 minutes later into the store, the shopping, she said, I didn't like what she said to me. I said, let it go. I said, she did what she had to do, but you just stay calm now. Like you enjoy the moment. But, what is it? We were analyzing it then in the car coming back. So what is it? It was this feeling of, how dare she speak to me like that? How dare she speak about me like that? How dare she tell me what to do? It's all this, right? It's all affecting the ego, isn't it? So what I'm saying is we cannot control other people's actions, really. We cannot control what they do, but what we can control is ourselves, is our feelings. And I always say this, don't lose your happiness over small things. It's really not important, but it's just not necessary. Lose your happy. If you're going to lose your happiness over big things, not small things. But, we say, don't sweat the small stuff. And really, people have a habit of speaking, so can't take everything as face value. Yeah, this is important. Yeah, this is really my philosophy, and those who live with me know that. So anything that happens, really just try to resolve it as quickly as possible, really. Because otherwise what's happening, we're taking it into our subconscious when we go to sleep. So anything that's happened in the day, if it's not resolved, where is it? Where is it being stored? And where is it kind of playing out? And it's playing out in our subconscious. So anything that happens, okay, you might not be able to, talk about it immediately or within the hour or two, but I think really try to make it a habit that before the end of the day, you want to talk about it or apologize or forget it in whatever way, you have to find a way for yourself. Because if you go to bed angry, then it's not going to be a good sleep. And not only that, but I feel it's not an act of self-love. Again, something happened. Yeah, something happened out there, and I'm getting angry inside. It doesn't weigh out. Why should I be angry for something that happened outside of me? So why should I treat myself like this? So yeah, as much as possible, communicate, as I said, let go, or just choose. I always say, if you in your mind can let it go, then let it go. But then if you feel that you need a discussion about it, then have a discussion about it. But if you say, okay, it doesn't matter, mind over matter, and you can just let go of it, then fine, put a full stop and let go. But if it's bothering you and you need to communicate, then do, and really finish it. This is very important, really, to keep a good relationship. And that is, keeping confidentiality. So, oops. Yeah. They say that a secret is what? Secret is something you tell one person at a time. So it's not really a secret, is it? But you feel because you're telling one person, they will keep the secret. But here I'm talking about really keeping the trust. Yeah, keeping keeping the confidentiality. And really, if you want to have good relationships, then if somebody has specifically told you, please keep this a secret, or please, this is personal or private, then I think we need to hold on to that. And I do, really, because as you know, I deal with many people, talk to many people. And if they tell me, don't tell the seniors, don't tell this one, then I really uphold that. Because otherwise, this person has come to you, right? For some peace or solace or something. And they're trusting you. They're trusting you with their life. They're trusting you with their secrets. And then if you go and betray that, they will never trust you again. So, if you can't keep secrets, then you should just tell them, please don't tell me, because I can't keep secrets. But I don't think we should, break somebody's trust in us. And again, this is what happens in, marriage relationships, where things kind of get out of hand. And well, in any relationship, but I'm saying marriage because it's really long term. And again, it's taken for granted that this one will keep my secrets, right? But when they don't, then it really hurts. So, yeah, and the other thing I want to say on this is about social media. I just feel like so many people put out so many of their personal things onto the social media platform. So if you don't want somebody to know that about you, then don't put it out there. You can't expect to put something out there in public and then think that, you can't put it out there and think that you don't want people to criticize or comment or whatever. You're setting yourself up for trouble. So again, be careful what you put out there. Otherwise, again, it will come back to bite you. So just a couple more. Yeah, don't blame, but do take responsibility. So again, we blame others because we don't want to take responsibility. Yeah, blaming means what? Blaming means I'm telling you that you did this, or you shouldn't have done that. But in that moment, I'm not looking at, well, what did I do? Or what did I not do? So I'm not taking responsibility for my thoughts, words, and feelings. This is the point. And when I'm blaming, what am I saying? When I say, see, because of you, I lost my job, or because of you, the friends don't come to my house anymore. What am I saying? That, oh, if you were nice, then maybe friends will come over to my place. In other words, I'm saying, if you change, if you fix yourself, then my life will be better. Then I'll be happier for it. So I'm waiting for the other person to change when I say I'm blaming you. And I'm giving all my power over to the other person. So don't play the blame game, and just take responsibility for your feelings, your actions, and whatever the situation. Yes, if friends are not coming because of them, then you make it, something special why they should come. In other words, you take charge and you change the vibe, you change the frequency. So I always say that, yeah, be a master of your life. When I'm blaming, I'm being the child. But when I take responsibility, I'm being the master. And this is, again, a fine balance that we also learn in spirituality, when to be the child and when to be the master. So don't nag. Nagging? I don't know if you know this in English. It's like when somebody keeps, bickering. Well, it's like complaining. But it's not just complaint, it's just talking all the time. And things like, well, you didn't do this and you should have done that. And it would be good if you were like this and like that. Constant chatter, as you can see, that's a typical picture. And again, actually, I don't know if you can see clearly, but she's just nagging. And then on the other side, he's thinking, oh, see, she's blaming me. It's all blame. The words are all blame. So he's feeling the blame. But of course, it could be the other way. I think men also do nag. It's not just the female. So again, what I'm saying here is, I was thinking, really, what is the opposite of nagging? Because when we're nagging, we're wanting things different, and we want it different now. And that's why I put, like, we need to do patience. It's like when you nag the children, put your shoes away, tidy your room, put the dishes away, or you don't help me around here. I mean, this is all forms of nagging. But again, I'm not saying we shouldn't communicate. Communicate once, communicate properly, tell them what are their chores, but then maybe practice some patience and see if they, deliver what you've asked them to do. So for this nagging, we really need to tame our mind. Otherwise, yes, all the time, it's so easy for the mind to get off on this chatter. It's really like, I'll stop the PowerPoint here now. Yeah. So it's really like you're giving a free ride to your mind to just constantly just speak, like a commentary. In other words, whatever's going on, it feels it can just lash out at everyone. And again, that's not healthy, because nobody wants a running commentary of your mind, right? This is the point. So that's why I'm saying a bit of patience. And also I would add here, like, to be a little bit of a detached observer to the drama of life, and just to see what's unfolding, what's happening. Let me wait and watch. Okay, I told the kids to do that. Let me just vibe them. Let me just vibe them with my thoughts, and let's see if that's going to make a difference to them. But if you keep nagging, you know what happens? Like, people switch off because they think, oh, she goes on and on and on. Actually, we have one lady here, and she's been doing meditation now for 2-3 years. And she was telling me a few months ago that her son was saying, Mom, you don't get angry anymore. It was like he wants her to get angry so he can then, respond, or let's say react. And he misses her getting angry, because that's his motivator. You see, when she gets angry, then he gets up and does what he has to do. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop here, and we can have a little meditation, and then I'm happy to have some Q&A. So, yeah, let's just sit comfortably. Okay, so let's just sit comfortably and try to just detach from what you're doing. I don't know. It'd be great if you want to put on your camera, those of you who haven't, and let's, give each other, this loving energy as well as we do that. Thank you so much. Okay, take a deep breath. So as you breathe out, just breathe out all the stress and tension. And as you breathe in, breathe in the peace, breathe in the calm. And I'm going to focus this meditation on just self-love. Which means I'm going to take this time now to just be with myself. Appreciating myself, valuing myself. Take this time to really look at my soul. Look at my soul deeply. I realize there is so much beauty inside. So much wealth of experience. Realize that I am the master. I'm positive, I'm powerful. like you to think of yourself like this. Talk to yourself in this way. On my seat of self respect, I give myself love. I'm patient with myself. I'm kind to myself. And when I make a mistake, I check myself. I don't check for just the wrong that I did, but I check myself for the lessons that I learned. Deep down, I am peaceful. Deep down, there is a very still part of me. And in my meditation, I go and touch that deepest part of me. So we'll just hold a few moments of silence. And in this silence, I would like you to really just speak nicely to yourself. Talk to yourself like a good friend is talking to you, a friend that you trust, a friend that you feel will only speak in the best of your interest. And just show that loving kindness to yourself. Om Shanti. So every day, really, at least a few times a day, just be with yourself. As I said, like a good friend is sitting with you, giving you time and attention. And so just sit with yourself. And I say, like, it's loving kindness towards myself. You know, meditation can mean many things, right? But I think one of the main things is the self-love. I'm meditating because I love myself too much not to meditate. Om Shanti. So yeah, happy to take questions. Maybe I silenced everyone.
Drusula, please unmute.
Excuse me, I was speaking with a muted mic. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for these lovely practical tips of how to improve in relationships, because it is so true that there can't be heaven without relationships. There's a story they told someone, I'll give you everything you want, a beautiful place, all the food you will have, the produce, everything will be just wonderful. Temperature, the weather, the birds, the sea, the animals, everything. And you'll have everything you desire. Would you go there? He said, no, I can't go alone. You know, you can't have heaven alone. You need relationships. We are made for that. That's why we exist, to have relationships and to be happy with them. So thank you so much. And the meditation was a lovely experience. That's something we forget to do. Love the self. And I don't know if there are any questions in the chat, but before we ask these questions, I have one. In terms of, there are some people who say, I always tell the truth. And so no matter what it is, I tell the truth. I don't like you today, you don't look good. And that's true. And I'm going to tell you that. And that's okay, because I have to be truthful. Or what you do, or what you acted, whatever you did. And it's a truth that hurts. Is that truth a good truth? Or I guess, yes, the answer is kind of understandable, but can you expand on this a little bit? Why do people do that? What misconceptions do they have about truth? And how to also not react, but how to behave when this comes to you, on both sides, in other words.
Yeah, see, you kind of answered the question yourself, where you're saying, is this truth? Like, no, my point is, you're being truthful, you're trying to be good by being truthful, but then you're giving sorrow, which is really untruth. So, you're canceling it out. Like, people think, oh, I'm being honest, I'm being truthful, but then you're hurting. So you're not really being nice then. And that's where I think we have to be careful. And there's that saying, no, like, the words I speak, are they valuable? Are they positive? Are they, like, our words have to go through a certain check. Is it necessary, valuable? Is it worth it? Something like that, right? There are some gates that the words have to pass through. And if it's not necessary, or don't need to say it, really. Are they positive? Are they true? Like, and then no need. Yeah.
Yeah, also maybe perhaps because this is what they think true. It's truth. It's an opinion they have. It's not the real truth. Maybe they don't like what I wear, but somebody else likes what I wear. It's not the absolute truth that this is so.
That's another point. Yeah, that's another point.
No.
They're just expressing, what's
right.
And I think the litmus test would be, Drusula, like, if the same were to be given back to them.
That's right.
How would they feel? So if they said, okay, I don't like your dress, but then if the other one said, well, I don't like yours, could they take it? And
exactly.
So let us put ourselves in other people's shoes.
Thank you. It's a very useful answer, because we all may fall in this trap sometimes. And it's good to be careful and cautious. So I want to ask Maria if I think there are some questions. I'm not sure. Maria will read them because I can't see the small letters. And
Yes, there is one.
good.
How not to react to situations that people deceive me or imprint on my rights.
How to react to situations where it infringes on my rights.
Yes, or when people deceive me.
Yeah, well, not easy, but this is why the work has to be done beforehand. This is going back to those insults, or negativity or criticism. I mean, we always say in life, like, build your immunity, right? Especially in the last couple of years, we are saying build your immunity so that, no virus can come to attack you. If you try to build your immunity in the last moment, it's going to be difficult. So really using the spiritual wisdom, using the spiritual power, we try to create this invisible shield around us where that's why I keep saying, go back to the sense of self. I need to create a healthy sense of self, healthy self-respect. So when things out there happen, they don't shake me. And I'm able to kind of just ward them off, because it's not about me, it's their story, right? It's their stuff. And so let me not take it on and make it mine and then get sensitive and get affected by that. So I don't know if I've answered the question, but I'm trying to say that make yourself strong, and you stand up for what you believe in. And yeah, that truth will prevail, right? Your values will prevail.
Mm.
Can I speak afterwards?
Yeah, there's a comment much to focus and refocus on here. Thank you so much. And another question: when does the need for communication becomes beggary?
Well, again, it's attitude, isn't it? It's it's an attitude. It's a, how to say it? It's a kind of consciousness. If I feel that I'm begging you for communication, or if I feel as a master, I'm initiating it. I'm not asking you. No, there's a fine line between me initiating it and me asking you for it. So I think that's the fine line between the self-respect and the ego, which is also extreme lack of self-respect. So I don't think I'm begging when I know that in my mind I want this for a higher purpose. Like, I want communication so that we both evolve, you see? So yeah, I think it's a good intent. It's it's for good reason, good purpose, I mean, what I'm trying to say is you're the master in that situation. So you're not the beggar. If you're coming from that right, healthy space, then you're not a beggar, right?
Very good. Are there more questions?
No, that's all.
That's all? Nobody has more questions? I think everything was so clear. Truly clear.
I think somebody wants to ask something.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I speak?
Yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, most of us, I think, are hard on ourselves, and that comes from upbringing and childhood traumas and so on. It's something that most of us have to deal with to be able to start loving ourselves. And I've learned that through Raj Yoga. And now I see the improvement also in my relationships. Because I'm learning to love myself now.
Yeah, true.
Great.
Yeah. So yeah, we are freeing ourselves from these old patterns, you see, that are not working. And that's the work that's going on in meditation. Let me hold on to what is working and shed what is not working. So being hard on myself, it doesn't work. It might work in the moment, but not in the long term. So I need to shed those old patterns. Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you so much, Aruna.
Thank you.
And there is
Been
one
lovely
last
to have you.
question. I know
Ah,
you
one
have
more question came.
time.
Okay,
Maybe
you have
the
time?
last one. What if someone accuses us of betrayal because we asked for advice, help, instead of the person who has a problem with a certain type of addiction, like an eating disorder? If that person who has an eating problem accuses us of betraying her trust because we exposed her in some way,
I'm not getting it. So
Yeah,
someone is asking for advice. Someone is sharing a secret that's about the health, for example, an addiction, like an eating disorder, and we seek for an advice from professional, I suppose. And then is that a betrayal for the person who gave us the secret? And the person I understand that's the concept, or you can unmute.
Not getting it. So somebody came to you for advice, and then what? You reveal that to somebody else?
Yes, to a specific person. Yeah, to get help to reply.
Okay. So what is the question?
If that person accuses us later on because it appears as a betrayal, because we seek for an advice for someone who would know better for an addiction.
Okay. See, this is going back to what I was saying earlier about really try to stay positive. Because, you can think that there's a conspiracy against you, or you can think that, that person could think, wow, great, everybody's trying to help me, So this person is trying to get professional help to help me. Isn't that a great thing? So again, it's the mindset. I don't know exactly the context and everything, so I can't really give a proper answer. But I would say if we can keep a positive mindset, then really anything that happens that I think, this, let's say the monkey mind or the wicked mind starts to have this chain of negative thoughts, then I need to just really kick out of that and say, no, again, there must be some reason to this, why this one spoke to this one or needs to speak to that one. Maybe there's some benefit in that. There's something to learn from that. Something good will come out of it. I don't know. I think if you just keep yourself in that frame of mind, then even if something was going to go negative, it doesn't. Because your positive energy has, I can say vibed it, given that vibration and turned it around in your favor. So just try to stay positive. Just try to think that there are people who want to help you. In fact, doctors do that, no? They take a second opinion from other doctors and stuff like that. So just think it's for your betterment.
Yeah, this is great. Maria, I think there is a very lovely comment if you want to translate it, and we will finish then with gallery view and Drishti.
Thank you so much for the beautiful talk on relationships. It's very constructive to build a relationship with the self. Thank you, Sister Aruna, so much.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the Greek family. I hope
Thank
everyone's well. Everyone looks healthy and hearty.
We can open the gallery view so you can see us all.
Yeah. I'm in gallery most of the time.
Oh, really? No, I've been looking at you. Now we look at the gallery. If you can turn on your cameras, all of you, so Aruna can see us all. And take drishti. Thank you so much and see you again soon.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.